I don't know what day of the week it is. Remember, we talked about yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah, it
So
is.
3 days of the week.
The day of the week is Monday.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I wanted to show you a couple of the things I got for my birthday last week. So check this out. A Carrie Bradshaw, votive candle. Isn't that fun?
Good.
Then look at this, because I'm very accident prone. Sloth bandages. And from the same person.
What do sloths use bandages?
Unicorn bandages. No, they're just for humans with a sloth on them. Then this might be the best. It's what's his name? Oh my God, I forgot his name. But it's a rapper. Snoop Dogg, get dog.
Who let the dog out? Woof.
Yeah, right. So it's a notebook for Snoop Dogg, which is great. So I'm really excited about these gifts.
Snoop Dogg's use notebooks?
I don't know. Keep the gifts coming. One of my mug today is actually a gift as well. So, Rob, who do we have on tap today?
Today, we've got a very special guest. Our guest today is the guy I want to be when I grow up. Mark Greene, president of Market Intelligence, LLC, is an LMA Hall of Fame member whose career includes the head of marketing role at AmLaw 100 firms. He is the current president of the College of Law Practice Management, an avid cyclist, guitar collector, dog dad, and Boy Scout leader. Big round of applause for Mark Greene.
Right.
Thanks, Rob.
Wow.
Thanks, Steph. Hi, guys.
That's pretty impressive. I hope you brought the guitar. We're thinking about starting a band.
There's a couple of them up here on this level. Most of them are down in the basement.
Because we have so many LMAers who are musicians, and I sing at weddings. So I think
we want to do a talent episode and have everybody come on. And
at the College of Law Practice Management conference this year, we had Daryl Cross and Tim Corcoran and Renee Branson and Teresa Walker and Terry Gavlik and up on stage singing and playing, and it was a great jam at the college's meeting here in Nashville because it was Nashville.
That's awesome. Yeah. So how's it going? Wait, tell everyone from where you're coming.
I'm, as some folks would know, you too, I'm on Skinny Dip Cove, which is a lake just outside Nashville, looking out at the, oh my gosh, can I do this?
That's a real thing? I thought you had made that up. And that
was oh, wow. Oh, wow.
There's water out there somewhere. Anyway, that's Skinny Dip Cove. Sorry about that.
Do people skinny dip there, or is it just...
Well, rumor has it they do at night, but you can never see at night, so I don't know.
I think that's probably why they're skinny dipping.
I don't know.
Probably.
But it's great. It's just outside Nashville. Nashville's on shutdown, just like everybody else. But it's great to watch the heron and the cranes and the cormorants out in the water in the mornings, and it's all good. It's all good.
You have nice color, Mark, too. I mean, unlike pale New Yorker and pale Philadelphian.
I'm out biking a lot and hiking and walking Cash. My dog Cash every day. Cash, Nashville dog. Anyway, yeah, so I get out a lot.
So wait, I just want to mention, so I saw in our pre-production that Mark was not drinking coffee, he was drinking wine. So I decided to also break out the wine. So cheers, Mark.
I'm feeling left out. All I have is water.
That's fine. So we have a lot to catch up on with you. And I want your take on the market. I want to know what you've been doing in your free time. Sounds like skinny dipping is not one of those things. And
I'm admitting.
Then we're going to invite Rob back and do our great mug reveal. Does that sound good?
I'm going to take off, you guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
Thanks, Rob. We'll see you in a bit. Hey. All right, Mark, I have a lot of questions for you. So first off, can you tell me how your life has changed since the COVID-19 outbreak in terms of work, in terms of everything? I mean, you work from home as it is, but obviously you're not traveling. So tell me what life has been like, and what are you hearing from your clients?
I pretty much work from home, but every now and then I do long-term assignments somewhere. So from April to October of last year, I was the interim CMO at Munger Tolls out in LA. So I was flying back and forth to LA every week, and I've got a couple of retainer clients that have me in the air. So the biggest thing is I haven't been flying. Oh my God.
Yeah, Tim said the same thing. Tim was like, it's so weird.
Yeah. So being home is great. I've had a chance to catch up on all my little projects, and I'm an inveterate forever tinkerer. So I'm always fixing, doing, and now that the grass is greening up and everything, there's even yard work to do outside. So I've been doing a lot of that. And Rob mentioned the College of Law Practice Management. We're trying to figure out what to do this year and adding a lot of virtual events and trying to figure out what to do for this year's future conference. And I'm going to be doing a Zoom board meeting this Tuesday and Wednesday. So a lot of stuff with that. And then my other nonprofits, I'm the vice president of the Tennessee Conservation Voters. We have a board meeting Thursday night. My Boy Scout troop is now meeting on Zoom. Folk Music Hall of Fame is kind of on hold right now. So everything's kind of waiting, and my clients are in shutdown mode right now. So I'm not doing any work for my clients right now. So a lot of social networking stuff and reading a lot, to keep up with what's going on in the industry, so that when consulting starts again, I'll be ready to help people figure out the new normal. And that's what the college is all about right now. So, and that sounds like a lot, but I'm binging on television and walking the dog twice a day and, a lot of that too.
All that stuff. So you've seen down what you do in terms of clients just putting projects on hold?
No, total shutdown.
Total shutdown. Yeah. So you know what? I think it's so smart that you're getting involved in your role, in other areas right now, because it's important in reading. And also I would tell people writing is a really great thing to do right now. And speaking virtually, offering your expertise to folks just like this. Because things will pick back up, and it's a matter of when. Tell me what do you think a post-COVID-19 world looks like for our industry in your opinion?
A lot of my consulting is in strategic planning, and two of the big projects that are on hold right now for my project clients are strategic planning. So that's kind of my thing. And
that sounds like a mistake, Mark, in my opinion, to put that on hold. Don't you think? Do you think firms are just really scared and they just want to cutting costs internally, so they feel like externally they have to?
No, I think this is a great time to be looking at retrospective data in terms of where you're coming from, your market share, your competitors, your clients, all that sort of stuff. But any kind of forward looking right now, I think it's a waste of time. And a couple of my clients said, so should we keep going with this? And I said, no. Because if you ask your clients, your prospects, your referral sources what they think, they're all going to give you answers, especially lawyers. Lawyers will always give you an answer, whether they have a clue what they're talking about or not. And if you start taking that seriously and building a structure to deal with what everybody thinks is going to happen, there's a really good chance it's just all going to blow up and not happen. So I think it's a great time to collect retrospective data. It's a great time to get everything loaded and ready. And meet at least once every few weeks to say, what does it feel like? Are we approaching stability? Is the new normal getting close? But don't get serious about any of this until we really have a somewhat clear picture of where things are going to be headed. And now we don't. The only thing I feel very comfortable in saying is that things aren't going to be exactly like they were before. There'll probably be a lot more of this, a lot more lawyers working from home, a lot more people staying home to deal more with their kids and stuff like that. But are lawyers still going to be taking their clients out to dinner and taking them to the box seat to see the Bruce Springsteen concert? I don't know. And if we are, how fast is that going to happen? Anybody that gives you any good idea as to where we're headed, I think is just full of
baloney. We just don't know. I heard, Mark, that they're saying that and actually Dr. Anthony Fauci said this, the handshake is dead and that's not coming back. I guess I can't imagine like an event like Legal Week or the LMA annual conference with like 1,500 people in small rooms. Like, I just don't see how those sorts of things are going to happen this year. And I hope that they do, but I don't know how you would do it. Even my last couple days at my gym is a Flywheel. It's spin bike class, and you're so packed into with each other. So they were at the end before they closed. They were starting to do every other bike. I can imagine, with a conference, you could do every other chair, like they're doing with the press conferences with the governors, and with the president. But I just can't see a return to normal. So I agree with you. I think Zoom and virtual conferences and virtual networking is going to be the new norm, and people working from home, those firms that were anti-working from home are got to get on the bandwagon really quickly.
The new norm for this year, I think you're probably right. By this time next year, I hope we're hugging each other at LMA meetings and all that sort of stuff. And if there's a vaccine for COVID, and maybe we all get our temperature taken when we walk in the door and stuff like that. But I don't think we're never going to give each other a hug or have a handshake again. But that's my wild guess speculation, and I don't recommend anybody place financial bets on this at this point, except say for the rest of this year, probably not going to happen. My Boy Scout camps are closed through the spring, but I've got a big scuba thing with my Boy Scout troop planned for July down in the Florida Keys, and that's still on, and I hope that will happen. But that means 20 of us crammed onto a little sailboat for a week, and maybe not. It's too soon to tell.
It's just hard to tell. Mark, tell us how you got into the legal marketing industry.
Oh, God, it was such an accident. After grad school, I was in the entertainment industry for about 6 years, working on what became MTV and Nickelodeon and then DirecTV. And the company I was with wasn't going to actually do DirecTV. We, Satellite Television Corporation, sold its satellites to what became DirecTV. And I was then in the Washington, D.C. area, decided I wanted to do something completely different from the entertainment industry. So I answered an ad in the Washington Post for a company that was doing consulting for professional service firms. I had no idea what that meant, but they wanted a vice president of market research. And I thought, vice president, that's cool. Right. So next thing you know, I'm doing market research for the big 8 accounting firms. This is a long time ago. And this was right after the Bates decision made legal advertising legal. So law firms started calling us and saying, hey, you know what you're doing for Coopers and Lybrand? We'd like some of that. And so I started doing some of the same kind of client surveys and financial analyses that I was doing for Ernst & Winnie for big forward-thinking law firms. And I did that for a long time. GE was my biggest client during that period for about 15 years. That's when I got my million miler on United and my million miler on American, and realized that I was away from my 2 sons way too much. So decided I'd go in-house, and then spent more than a decade as CMO at firms, and then got back into consulting again now that my sons are off and doing wonderful things on their own.
That's awesome. That's great. Mark, what is something about you that we would be surprised to know?
Ooh,
my apartment was freezing. So those of you who saw me like trying to get into a sweatshirt, and then I put it on backwards, I hope that was interesting to you. I have not been drinking that much. This is just my first little sip of this. So that's what happened. And Mark, I don't know, can you read my shirt?
Yes.
So
my dog just went outside.
And to Rob's dog.
Okay, cool. Dogs really help. If I didn't have my dog here, it's just me in this big old house, I would go crazy.
With you.
Yes. So something unusual.
Or surprising, or interesting.
I've got a lot of music in my background. I grew up in the Smoky Mountains in North Carolina till I was 14, and nobody in my family had gotten past 8th grade. My parents met in Chicago when she was doing Texas swing, and he was partnered up with a guy named Ike Everly, whose sons became the Everly Brothers. And so I had musical roots going way, way back. And I don't think most people would guess that.
Cool. Mark, you tell us about your you have a PhD, which is unusual in our industry. What is your PhD in, and what led you to go do that?
I have the strangest educational pedigree of anybody, and I'll stand behind that. I went to college to become a nuclear physicist, and that was my undergraduate major. And at the very end, I read Aristotle's Art of Rhetoric and decided that the study of human communications by Aristotle and Plato was the coolest thing in the world. So for my master's, found that the leading scholar in the US in that was George Kennedy at the University of North Carolina. So I went down to Carolina to study classical rhetoric for my master's, and did, and realized that the people that were getting jobs teaching that had way, way better Greek and Latin skills than I ever would. So, I actually interviewed the chairman of 5 different departments to figure out what should I do with my life. Mm-hmm. And the head of sociology said, well, it sounds like if you really miss all that math and science, but you love studying human communications, how about market research? I said, well, that sounds cool. Do we do that here in Chapel Hill? No, you have to go to Northwestern or Georgia. I said, well, that stinks. I want to stay here in Chapel Hill. Well, let's put together an interdisciplinary doctoral program. So we did with business, psych, soc, and the J School, communications. I did an interdisciplinary PhD in market research, and that's what led me to do market research for Warner Communications.
Wow.
Really weird.
That's really cool. So you said we don't have this program. We should. Let's make it interdisciplinary and let's start it here.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was neat. It was really neat. And I got a lot of attention from the really cool professors in various departments who really liked the idea of being on my dissertation committee with the head of the classics department, because they'd heard of him, but they'd never talked to him before. And so in my dissertation defense, I'm getting these bizarre questions from the business school, then the psychology department, then the classics. It was really fun.
That's awesome. Mark, what was something over the last year that was really interesting on which you worked?
Oh, wow. Well, in work, I'd heard about Munger tolls for a long time, but I didn't really know a lot about them. I had never done competitive analyses with them and stuff. And I'd been CMO at some pretty cool firms, Melvin and Myers and Nixon Peabody and others. But Munger operates at a level beyond anything I'd experienced before. It seemed like everything that was in the news, they were doing the legal work behind that, or they were at least coordinating counsel. And of course, can't talk about it, couldn't talk about it. They keep a very low profile, but it was really, really neat to be on the inside of a firm playing at a higher level than I'd ever played at before. That was really cool.
That's great. How did they find you, or how did you find them for that interim role?
I got a call. The CEO was somebody I knew, and she recommended me, and that's how they brought me in. And it was a really interesting 6 months, and trying to figure out how to market a firm where it was like the old days, that the work just comes at you and it's choosing work, not seeking work. But still, they were very interested in making sure they were always dominating the AmLaw A list, which they always have, and things like that. Yeah.
And a lot of what they do is litigation, which is why high stakes litigation, which is why they can't talk about it. Is that right?
A lot of what they do. Yeah. And deals before the deals were ever known. Yeah. That's
interesting. So Mark, what have you been doing? And you mentioned some of the things in your free time. I'm wondering if you're cooking. Are you a cook? What have you been making?
I love to cook. There's an actual kitchen back here behind me. I'm not down in my office.
I like your cooking.
Thank you. I'm trying to invent new things in the kitchen. I'm trying to cook for at least one meal a day, and then I can kind of snack around at that. So yeah, I'm cooking a lot. Now that the weather's nice, I'm grilling downstairs some and doing yard work, riding my bike, walking my dog.
Doing all the things we're supposed to do. I get it.
Practicing guitar.
I want to
trying to get upstairs to the weights. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm doing home Zoom workouts. Rob, I want to invite you back if we can. So we also want to know if you have an Instapot.
If I have a what?
Okay, that's a no. Rob, can you explain what an Instapot is?
The Instapot, it's the old-fashioned pressure cookers made. They're electric. It's like a fast slow cooker.
I've never done slow cooking stuff at all. I've never done the old pots that you'd leave on all day while you went to work and came back and there was a stew ready. I like to have my hands on what I'm cooking and be doing it. And I grew up in the South where everything was utterly cooked to mush. And so I'm very, very careful to have all my ingredients al dente and separate and that sort of stuff. So no, I've never tried that. Maybe I should. The other thing that I was talking to my friend Annalie Gibson the other day, and we decided we both need to get these new air fryers, which neither one of us have.
Yeah, somebody else on the show had one, and they're saying that they're terrific. I think I need one. I just don't have room for it, so probably won't happen.
I was FaceTiming with my friend Elanide Sims the other day, and she was showing me what she was cooking, and she is such a gourmet. I felt just totally put to shame. So I guess I'm kind of cooking, but not at the level of some of these LMA people.
That's okay. This is an opportunity to do it.
I'm amazed at how many people are baking bread during this. I've seen
muffins the other day. I made cornbread muffins. Yeah.
So I have friend who posted on Facebook today that she made bagels.
Yeah, I have a friend that's making bagels too.
I'm like, oh my God, I want to learn how to make a bagel.
Hey, it's Cash.
Oh, wait. So what's your name? What's your dog's name?
This is Cash, Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash lived right up the lake here, just a few miles back in the day. That's where some of the Walk the Line movie was filmed, was right here on my lake. So he's named, say hi, Cash.
He's so cute. How old is he?
Cash is 4. He's half Australian cattle dog, which we call a red heeler around here, and half Siberian husky. So he's got Carolina blue eyes.
Oh, beautiful. I mean, my dog is my favorite companion right now. I know Rob feels that way about his wife and his dog. So, it's a tie.
She thinks the dog is first, but
dog's probably first. Mark, will you show us your mug? I don't know if you brought a mug. I've got my mug.
Slightly socially unacceptable these days, but I'm going to go with it anyway.
Okay.
You have no idea why this mug. When my sons were growing up, we used to love watching a TV show called 2.5 Men Together. And this was the mug.
He went crazy, right?
Yeah, exactly. This was the mug that they always had on that show, that they were always getting out of the kitchen cabinets and stuff. So I found them. And now all of the casual china in my house is this pattern, Dona by Tabletops Lifestyle. So this has wonderful memories. Yeah.
It's also very cheery too.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, you can get everything to match your salt and pepper.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's actually like just happy. Rob, what do you have today?
So my mug today is, if you can see it, a friend of mine runs an African-American film series called Real Black, REELBLACK. And he's been doing it for years, and he's an amazingly talented director and producer, and was the director and writer of the first short film that I ever produced.
Oh,
back in the early 2000s.
So I was mentioning that I keep getting really nice birthday gifts, and a friend of mine from the LMA sent me this after seeing our show, and it's a French bulldog mug, and it says in the inside, I don't know if you can see that. You see that dog. So that was nice. I have yet to repeat a mug, Mark, and we have been filming how many episodes now?
This is our 19th episode.
Wow. And I live in a 1-bedroom apartment with a very
where all the mugs are coming from.
It's like, where are these mugs coming from? So then Rob informed me this weekend that he found a box of stuff, including some mugs. So we're going to see real mugs from him. Mark, you were saying that you're binge watching some TV. I'm wondering if you're watching Tiger King or something else.
No, I haven't gone down to that yet. I understand. Well, but I'm doing some real comfort food watching. I'm halfway through Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is real brainless, fun television.
It's so funny.
I wrapped up The Mandalorian. Sunday, I lose track of days, but last night was Westworld night, so I knew that was. Yeah.
Okay, Westworld is too complicated for me. It's like how I felt about Game of Thrones in the beginning, first 2 seasons, which I'm actually rewatching. But Westworld, you need to read the synopses like multiple times to understand it. So I think it's just I'm not as intelligent. I don't have a PhD. I only have a master's degree, so it's not for me. But I'm glad to know.
AI. It's AI, and I love AI. So
I know.
That's the other thing I've been doing that I should have mentioned. Every room in the house is Siri and Google and Alexa, and I've been adding more and more devices, my sprinkler system, my car charger, all this sort of thing. Everything is connected now.
So that's what you've been doing. So Mark is available for consulting work to help
smart home consulting.
Your house.
Smart home consulting
system.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Which lighting system do you have?
All of them. Lutron for a lot of my switches, Philips Hue for a lot of the independent bulbs. Different strips for different purposes. The outdoor stuff is a different technology. It's whatever's best for the application.
Whole house on the Lutron system, and I love just talking. Going, Electra, turn on studio lights.
What about clap on, clap off? What about just going back to the way things were?
Hey Siri, turn off the kitchen lights. No, it doesn't. Hey Siri, there we go.
off.
Mine does that to me all the time. I try to show it off and then it doesn't work.
Yeah, but it worked. It just took a second.
Mark, I have another question for you. So tell us about what you're doing as president of the College of Law Practice Management, Colpum, which is not a colposcopy. It's the College of Law Practice Management.
Yeah, it's not an association you can just join. It's an honorary organization.
Right?
You have to be nominated and approved by the board. And anybody that we think is trying to get themselves nominated, we look askance on, because it's supposed to be, a totally externally motivated, ooh, this person is really cool. And it's just about equally HR, finance, marketing, facilities. I mean, anybody that's really important to the running of big law firms has a chance. A lot of former managing partners are fellows. And it's honoring a lifetime of achievement. So there are very few people that are a lot younger than me. God. And we do a futures conference every year where we try to figure out where the industry is headed. And this year it's going to be a real challenge. The technology we're looking at, we're going to be meeting about this a lot this week. We may do a conference where everybody logs in to a technology nobody's ever heard of, but you each have an avatar. And you can wander around and shake hands with each other and go to breakout sessions and do speed dating and all this as avatars.
That's the coolest thing I've heard. Is this?
Well, I'm not saying we're going to do it yet. We're still kicking the tires.
Product on the market, or is this something you guys would be creating?
No, it's on the market. It's called Vertway or something like that. I'll shoot you a link so you can see it and post it if you want to.
It could be something
but
that
it's real.
Want to know about too.
Virtual conferences with avatars and stuff, and we may do that this year. We're kicking the tires on it.
None of us are ever going to leave our houses again.
Yeah, really. And you can make your avatar whatever you look like. So I'll be there as Harrison Ford or whatever.
So it's kind of like your Bitmoji, but it walks around and touches people where you cannot do those things.
Right. And you can be in a breakout session. You can do speed dating and stuff like that. It's really neat.
That I've heard, because I'm so bored of Zoom meetings. Bored. I need something more exciting. Like, I want to get up and walk around. Like, I wonder if you could hook it up to your Wii or something, and it actually will mimic your movements. Or we could do happy hour.
It certainly does movements and stuff.
There's so much here could be done.
But if you're this last few weeks, I've done Skype and Google Hangouts and Adobe Connect and WebEx and FaceTime and Zoom and this, and they're all basically the same. They're all just boring, and something more fun would be just freaking awesome.
Yeah. We have a note here from Catherine McDonough, which says the Futures Conference is something that have to be a member of the Colpum and a fellow, and it's a great event. So I've heard
people who aren't fellows come to the events. Yeah.
So I mean, and again, this is honestly, I'm such a proponent. You guys know how I feel about social media, but I really do believe that we have ways to communicate and ways to interact with people in a more cost-effective way now, and where our schedules allow us to be in one place here and another place there. You don't have to pick and choose what you're going to attend anymore as much as you did when you had to actually physically be there. So virtual conferences, while you're missing so much, they do give us more flexibility, I think, in our schedule.
Absolutely.
I would invest in a really good chair. I'm working from my dining room chair because my dining room is my living room and it's my office. Not good. My back is killing me. So I'm going to be investing in a good chair. Any suggestions would be appreciated.
Or a standing desk.
I'm in a standing desk. Yes. If there's a desk that exists where there's a dog bed built in, let me know.
They have those.
Look at that. I thought I created something.
You hear that, bud? Cash heard. Wow. Cool.
Mark, so we want to wish you all the best and, continued success in being in health and all that good stuff. We know we'll be together again. It's so nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Why we do this show every day, because we want to bring, some levity and just interaction to folks. So we so appreciate doing this.
Before we go, I have to announce our contest for this week. And just so you can see it, I'm going to bring this myself on screen. We are giving away 4 of these. It's a phone stand. Little desktop tripod holds your phone. All you have to do is anytime this week, throw us a comment in the comment field of any of the videos from this week's show, and we'll enter you in a drawing to win one of these. They're great for Zoom conferences, if you want steadier phone video, and they've got a little Kate's Media logo on the back.
Yeah, okay, Rob, can you put us back on the screen? I would just say make sure to Lysol it when you get it, because you don't know anything about Rob Case for real, and we have to be really careful, so Lysol it. I want to mention also Heather Morse, thank you for watching, is saying that she got a standing desk and chair at Costco, which I'm guessing means it was not expensive. So thank you, Heather, for that. And I thank you all for the comments of everyone who's watching. So I wanted to
standing desk. You can.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh wow, look, Rob is going high, and yeah. Catherine, we're gonna do a special prize when you arrive, for your session. I'm gonna be offering folks sloth bandages, okay? But I will give you guys the rules later. Post that. So cool. I want to mention who we have this week on tap. Tomorrow is Irish Jones. Wednesday, Mike Meller. Thursday, Peter Raybar. Peter is a labor and employment lawyer who helped me through a sticky situation, and I thought it would be good to have him on to answer questions that folks have about lots of different things from the employee side and the employer side. And then Friday, we have Catherine McDonough. Lots of Hall of Famers and amazing people this week. And guys, exciting. James Keane is going to be on next week. TBD on the day, but I'm so excited. I have a crush on him and Andrew Cuomo. So this should be fun. I'm definitely going to do my hair and put on something a little nicer than my dog sweatshirt. So we want to thank everyone for joining us. Most importantly, I want to thank you both. I want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank Rob for this brainchild that he's created that has taken on a life of its own. Heather wants to know, if she comments more than once, does she get more tickets in the drawing? I don't know, Rob. What do you think?
I don't think so, because then I have to keep track of everybody, every time everybody posts.
Well, we have Ernst & Young, which will virtually be auditing this sweepstakes, and we'll get back to you on that. So guys, thank you for joining. Mark, I want to live in your house. It looks amazing. And that backyard, I hope you enjoy yourself there. I hope you enjoy your glass of wine. It's what time is it? It's wine o'clock. There's only coffee and wine at this point. And we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank everyone in our community for all they're doing. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Anything else you guys want to say?
Be safe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.